Hello and a big welcome back to all my subscribers. And if you're not a subscriber, why not? Right, today I want to talk about how I'm creating a Pimsleur-like training course for my long commute into work using some of the AI and some Python scripts and things that are available today, and a program called Gradient, which I'll put links in the description for these things. But I basically want to show you what I'm doing. Not in great detail, but just to show you what it is I'm doing. So let me just flip over now to my desktop. Let me just make this so it's possible to read. Now, there's a lot of stuff going on here, but one of the first things I wanted to show you is I've got something, for example, which will read in a text file and output audio. So let me just show you that one first. So what we've got here is just a basic Python script. Read some configuration files because I use the Amazon Web Services Polly for doing voices. So this is computer generated voices, and what I do is basically I have a few functions here to clean the string up that I get in, generate the MP3 using the English GB voice IMA. That is the default. I can pass in other ones, and I do later down below. And I format a counter just so I can get 4 digits out of this when I send it out. I open up the temp.csv file. I output English media or English computer generated voices into a subdirectory, then the Korean subdirectory as well. I open the CSV file. I split the columns into two. There are just 2 columns, which is one the English sound. Let me just quickly show you the so here we've got the English phrase, then a tab, and then the Korean phrase here. So that is what it is parsing, this particular script, and it takes that text. So it's taking the English text and it's passing it in to generate an English sentence, and it's passing in the Korean to generate a Korean sentence. And then it just goes through all of the entire thing, generating the relevant files. Now, I think I may have moved them yet. So what you can see here is it generated these files, and this was the 4-digit counter that I talked about before, and then it just creates something underscore en to show that it's English. Now there will be in the Korean directory effectively the same, but this time it has Korean. So those Korean sentences are now transformed into actual audio files. In order to get those audio files, I did another Python script, which I'll show you here, where I open an English phrase. So if I go to English phrases, I just type in some English phrases or words. This script reads them in, and using the Open API, it uses the ChatGPT Turbo to translate the following English phrase into polite Korean. Now I have used Google Translate for this, but I had those checked with a Korean native, and they were all rude. So I did this and had ChatGPT create polite Korean sentences, and the Korean native speaker okayed all of those and said that those were all right. There is a maximum amount of tokens that you can use, which means the number of phrases you can do. I kind of maxed that out. But basically all I'm doing is I'm reading in the English and I'm outputting the translated phrases. So if I open translated phrases, you can see that it has translated this into the Korean. And so this allows me to get the CSV file that is used by the other script that takes in a 2-column CSV. So it's expecting a 2-column CSV, and it will take the first English one and the second Korean and generate those media files. Now, once you've generated the media files, we can go into the Gradient program, which I've created as a subdirectory here, but you can download it, and you just put in the combined English and other into the samples directory. So if I do this, you can see that for each phrase in English there is a corresponding Korean one. So what Gradient will do is it will generate lessons from this. So if I show you the output, this is basically it generated 90 lessons from the associated things. Now, one of the problems with Gradient is it puts this beeping in, which is annoying, but you can make it stop by just adding the number of seconds up to something ridiculous like 9,999,000,009 or whatever, and it'll just not do it. But what it will do is put long spaces in. So I have created a small script here that basically makes the directory trim if it's not there, and it runs socks on this to take each of these files and trim out the silences, which are the long silences, so that it reduces it down. So if we go down into trim, you can see that they're all there again. Ready to use. Now this causes some issues when it does the silence, which it needs to be corrected, because it will basically create partial entries. But I have another script that basically joins those together. So that's pretty much it. And all I'm really doing is just creating these files that will allow me to listen to a Pimsleur-like setting. So it just makes life a lot easier, and I can generate these thousands of them, hundreds of thousands of them at a time. So it's quite useful for me because I'm doing a lot of driving, and I can just put this into my car, either the CD player, burn a CD, or my car has a USB input, and I can just listen to them as I drive. So it's very convenient, but it is a Pimsleur type system where you get spaced repetition, so it tries to teach you word or phrase, and then it will repeat it and get you to repeat it aloud many times. So it's a very useful little exercise. I recommend that you look into Gradient. It's a very useful program, especially if you're doing a lot of, where you need your hands, or you can only just listen. So it will definitely help with your language learning. Anyway, if you like these sort of videos, please like and subscribe and all that sort of good stuff. And, I will see you soon. Thanks a lot. Bye.